everybody, and welcome to another episode of Adventures with Andi. Remember this? It's our yarn mop from our last episode where we dyed our Black Lives Matter Love is Love skein of yarn. And today we're going to dye this one, sort of a bonus episode. Since we've already got half of this dyed blue, yes, I planned ahead, I'm going to turn this into Peekaboo rainbow stripes on sort of a sky blue background. So I'm actually going to go and dye this about 3/4 of it blue, darker than what we have here, and then the rest of it I'm going to dye with smaller, hand paint smaller rainbow stripes on here. I've already soaked this in water with vinegar, soaked it overnight, and now we're ready to go ahead and kettle dye or dip dye. I haven't decided which yet, but kettle dye or dip dye the blue section of our yarn. Okay, so just to refresh your memory, the yarn that we are working with today is the Cascade Yarns 128 Superwash. It is 100% superwash merino wool, and we've got 100 grams of it. This is actually the leftover dye bath from where I reset the Black Lives Matter Love is Love yarn. It is the water that I soaked the Cascade yarn in that we're going to be dyeing today. So I'm not entirely sure what the acidity level is on it. I'm not entirely sure how much water it is, and I'm not going to worry about it. I am just going to go with it and have fun creating my little Peekaboo rainbows today. I am going to start with using this. This is the jar of water that I used for rinsing out my brush when I was hand painting on those rainbow stripes in the Black Lives Matter Love is Love yarn. And I'm mostly using this because I don't want to waste what little dye is in here, and I'm going to need this jar filled with clean water for hand painting the rainbow on this skein. So I'm going to start with this, and yes, it's green, and I'm wanting to dye blue, but green has blue in it. I don't think there's going to be enough yellow in there to really make that much of a difference. I guess technically it's not actually green that's in there. It's probably more of a gray because it's a mix of all colors. And if you mix all colors, you end up with gray. I'm going to be smart and put my apron on real quick so I don't end up dyeing my clothes as I have done before. And while it will rinse out, it still is a hassle. Plus my apron has pockets. Oh my God, I love pockets. I'm all about pockets because so many women's clothing do not have pockets. Anyway, the other dye that I'm going to be using today is some of what's left of the blue dye that I mixed up for dyeing our rainbow stripes in our Black Lives Matter Love is Love skein, and that is from the Wilton's Icing Gel teal color, which, if you may remember, was 1/4 teaspoon to 1 cup of water. So I'm going to pour about half of that in here right now. Just kind of eyeballing it. I thought for a second about, oh, I should go get a measuring cup and be a little bit more precise about this in case I'm going to repeat this, try to duplicate this colorway, but I figured I don't know how much vinegar is in this water, so it's not like I could be exact anyway. What the heck? Another little glug. And because our skein is a yarn mop, I'm going to use it to wipe the drips off the outside of this jar. And off of my fingers because I've already gotten it on my hands. Seems a good idea to put my apron on. I know myself. And you can see that didn't really put a whole lot of color on this skein. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. Now, right now, the crock pot's cold. I don't even have it plugged in. Because I am going to do similar to what I did to get that deep saturated black color. With this blue, I'm going to start with a cold dye bath. Now, the one big difference is that this already has vinegar in it. So the color can start striking quickly even though there's no heat to set it. Oh yeah, that's nice and pretty. And I've put another silicone zip tie on here. This is not the whole of the yarn. This is to tell me where to stop dyeing, so I've still got some white space here. And it's marking off 1/4 of the skein. What I did is I folded the skein in half, and then I folded half of it back again to get 1/4. I'm just going to rest this right here. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my crock pot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move everything back a little bit. I do not have a cameraman today. It is Monday afternoon, which means cameraman Chad is working. He is in his office next door. If you start to hear people talking, I do not have company over. It is just Chad working. He works from home. I work from home. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on high and let it warm up. I'm not going to really dip dye this. I'm just sort of dunking it in and out all the way to try to get, you know, some good color saturation through here. And if I need to come back and put some more blue color, some more blue dye in here to get a deeper color, I'll do that. Even if I have to mix up more, I'm fine with that. I'm just curious. I want to see how our dye bath looks. Look how fast that's lightening up, guys. We're almost completely exhausted already on our dye bath. I mean, that was fast. So yeah, it's entirely possible I might have to go ahead and put some more dye in here. I am going to let it, you know, set first and see, because I'm not wanting this to be an incredibly dark blue or anything. I wanted to match my office. My office walls are green, and the accent colors in my office are white and sky blue. So I want this to be a light blue, not pale blue, but a light blue, because I want to knit myself a pillow out of it. And so I want it to match my office. Give myself a nice pretty rainbow in the sky pillow to brighten up my day. Oh yeah, that's, I mean, that already basically exhausted. Here, I'll get a measuring cup so you can see. I mean, okay, in the measuring cup I can see there's more blue. Never mind, I was wrong. Today's lesson is it's okay to admit when you were wrong. That's how we learn and grow and do better. And I am not afraid to admit when I have made a mistake. Alright, so I'm just going to let this sit. Let the dye bath heat up so it can set the dye to the yarn and exhaust the bath all the way. Probably 15-20 minutes at least, because this is ice cold right now. So it's going to have to heat up, and crock pots take a little bit of time to heat up. So I'll come back when this is done and we can start painting our rainbow. All right, so our blue part of our yarn is all done dyeing. Now, I do still reserve the right to go back and kettle dye this some more once it's dried and I can get a better feel of exactly what shade of blue it's going to be. It's always my prerogative. But for right now, I think it's looking okay. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the rainbow. Start out with our red. And again, I've got my zip ties laying across here just to mark out my sections. I didn't tie them around this time. I didn't fasten them because it's such short areas of yarn that it would just add resist and make it impossible to get everything dyed, and I would just have to take them off. Anyway, so they're just kind of laying across right now just to mark my sections out. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv, which is the only way I can remember it. And I've got the blue just laying here in the back. It's still slightly warm, but since I'm not going to be working with it, it's not going to get moved around, so it is not going to get felted. I am, however, going to have to figure out a way to do this so I don't risk spilling my dye that I'm painting with all over that blue yarn or dripping all over everything else. So we'll see how that goes. And I technically sort of have my cameraman back. Chad is sitting over on my chair on the other side of my office because it is after 5 o'clock, so he is done working. But he's not behind the camera because I guess he doesn't want to be. And that's his choice. He doesn't have to. What you doing over there, Chad?
Just sitting here.
Just sitting there?
Yeah.
You don't want to come paint rainbows with me?
No, I'm okay.
Did you have a good day today?
It wasn't too bad. How was yours?
It's okay. We did have a little excitement today. 2 more of our foster kittens are adoption pending now. Chad did Zoom calls with them and with the people who were interested in adopting them. And Little Miss Peabody and Emerson are going to go on trial visits to their new homes tomorrow. They're not going together. They're going to separate homes. Little Miss Nefret is already in her trial home. They got their 2nd vaccination on Sunday, which means that they can go on trial home visits, but their adoption cannot be finalized until they get spayed and neutered. And they're not quite big enough for that. The rescue group that we foster with, the Animal Rescue and Foster Program in Greensboro, does early spay and neuters, which means once they are 2 pounds, they can get spayed and neutered. But these kittens are very small for their age, so they're not quite up to 2 pounds yet. Which is really strange because Daphne's kittens, Daphne's Adorable Surprises, they were big kittens. For those of you who have not seen the video, Daphne's Adorable Surprises are a litter of kittens that were born to a cat that was surrendered to our rescue as a male. And the cat was very shy and scared because it was a new, strange place and didn't know what was going on. So as normal, we were just letting them have their own space and time to adjust. We weren't pushing or anything. And then one of the volunteers went in one morning to clean and discovered 4 newborn kittens. And that's how we knew that the cat was not a male, but was in fact a female. And the reason that she had been hiding was because she was incredibly pregnant. But those kittens, man, I guess because they had a mom to be with them, nursing them and taking care of them from the time they were born until they were adopted, they were very big compared to this litter we have right now. It's not often that we get a mama cat along with our kittens. Usually when we're getting foster kittens, there's no mom. Normally Chad and I don't do bottle feeder kittens just because that is incredibly hard and can be very heartbreaking. And so I don't tend to do that. I have so much love and respect for our volunteers who do bottle feeding because it's just not something I can do. I've done it when I've had to. There have been a few times we've been surprised with kittens that came in that we thought were going to be older than they were, and turned out that no, they need to be bottle fed, and so we've bottle fed them. And I would do it if there was a need, if there was nobody else around who could do it, then I would do it. But yeah, normally the kittens that Chad and I foster, they come into us when they're at least 4 weeks old, because by then they can be weaned. Okay, moving on to the orange. How old are the Egyptology kittens, Chad?
They're about 10 weeks old.
About 10 weeks old. Yeah, we do theme names for all of our foster kittens. And this litter of kittens actually kind of named themselves because they kept pulling one of the Amelia Peabody Mystery series books by Elizabeth Peterson. Is that right?
Peters.
Elizabeth Peters. Kept pulling it off of Chad's bookcase no matter where he put it. Which one? Was it Crocodile on the
Sandbank?
Crocodile on the Sandbank. Yeah, they kept pulling that book off of the bookcase no matter which shelf he put it on, no matter where he put it. They just kept pulling it off of there. So we decided obviously we needed to name them after characters from that series. So we had 2 boys, 2 girls. Named them the girls Nefret and Peabody, and the boys Emerson and Ramses. And after tomorrow, the only one we'll still have who's looking for a home is going to be little Ramses. But don't worry, he'll find a home. Our rescue group is no kill, so we always find homes for everybody no matter how long it takes. Ramses is pretty cute and adorable though, so I don't think it's going to take too long to find him a place. This is going to be interesting because this is the same blue that the sky portion is, but I don't want it to, disappear against that. When I knit it up, when I get those Peekaboo stripes, I don't want the stitches that are this blue from the rainbow to just disappear against the blue of the background. So we will have to see how that goes. I will at least start with this color, and I don't know. I haven't fully made up my mind yet about what to do. If I can get it really dark, then that'll work. So I have to really, really saturate it so it's not that pale blue of the sky. violet. And again, this can be tricky because the violet, the Wilton's violet, is a color that you can break, and I don't want it to, but there is vinegar in my yarn. So yeah, you can see here how we've got the purple here, and then we've got the blue over here, and that's the breaking that it does because the red will strike first to especially superwash yarn and yarn that has vinegar in it. But I need the vinegar in it for hand painting. So I'm just going to have to go over this really, really good to make sure I get everything saturated with enough of both the blue and the red to get my violet, as opposed to, you know, lilac and violet and pale purple and dark purple and some blue and red and all that. Because I want this rainbow on this skein to be as saturated as I can. Although it might be fun to come back sometime and do a skein where I hand paint it with the Wilton's violet, specifically to try to break it in interesting ways on a hand painted skein. Have to add that to my ever-growing list of projects I want to do, adventures I want to have. Okay, so that looks good for my rainbow. So I'm going to go back now, and first I'm going to massage these colors in just to get everything to blend really nicely at the joins where the colors meet each other. And massage them through to try to get some good saturation through all of the fibers, all of the strands of the yarn. You can see I'm already pretty much just getting water, which means it's going into the yarn. Hopefully my tie here does not cause any resist. I got some pretty decent sharp lines on these, and I really wasn't expecting that to happen. And I can definitely see that this violet is, if not breaking, it's wanting to break, because the red is striking already and that blue is just not wanting to. So I'm seeing a definite red tone to it, at least in places. So I don't know, maybe next time I paint a rainbow, I won't use the Wilton's violet. Instead, I'll try doing, start with painting first with blue and then paint, or with the indigo, the royal blue, and then paint some red over it. I don't know how to think about that. That's a different skein. It's not something I have to worry about right now. But what I am going to do is I'm going to very carefully paint a little bit of this teal onto the edges here where the rainbow meets the sky. I don't want to go too heavy in this saturation. Well, that's not going to work. That's great. Okay, want to go too heavy with the saturation. I also don't want to use the wrong color. Told you I needed to have labels for these bottles because I just don't remember. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Chad's back. I picked up the wrong jar.
Oh no, what happened?
I picked up green.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up in the sky. It was supposed to be just a light little bit of blue to blend in here. No, it's green.
Oh, you know.
I'm going to see if I can't wash it out a bit with some water. Lighten it up some. Happy accidents, right? Happy accidents.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, let's try that. Which means I'm probably going to go a little bit darker with the blue over here than what I had originally intended. But I will fade it into the body of the skein. We'll just call that a thundercloud because rainbows happen after it rains. Right?
That's right.
That's right. There are so many worse things in life than accidentally painting green dye where you meant to put blue. Okay, now I'll move over here to this side and do the same thing. But without the green this time. Because I've already got the blue up, and so I can't make the same mistake twice. Otherwise, yeah, I'd do it. Okay, so now I've got all of the colors painted onto the opposite side, onto the back side of the skein. So I am going to let this sit for a while, probably at least until after dinner, just to let the dye have a little bit more time to strike to the yarn before I steam it. And I'm going to do that in an attempt to minimize the risk of the colors bleeding from one band to another. I've already got a little bit of the green that's pulling into the yellow here, and that's capillary action working on me. But that'll be okay, that's fine. It's only, these aren't going to line up in blocks like this, so we're not going to see that it's a whole bunch like that. It's going to be one strand where it goes from the red to the orange to the yellow, and the green's just going to bleed in a little bit more quickly. So I am going to go have some dinner and feed Chad and let this have some time to strike the color to the yarn, and then I'll come back and wrap it up in my plastic and stick it in the crock pot to steam it and get it set. Good morning. Yes, it is the next day. I did not steam the yarn last night because a storm rolled through just as I was finishing up hand painting it, and I got hit with a massive headache. Yay for pressure changes. Anyway, that pretty much just spelled the end of my evening. But it's morning now, and I'm back, and that little break actually gave me time to have an idea. As I was sitting here this morning in my office drinking my coffee and eating my oatmeal, I kept looking over here at the yarn drying on my desk and at all of the rows of the jars of color, and this jar that was my rinse bottle that has a little bit of color in it. Now, the jars of the dye, I'm going to freeze those so that I can use them in another project sometime. But I really can't see freezing this because there's just not that much color in it. That it's not going to do a whole lot to dye anything. So I decided, like I did when I first dyed the blue section in the skein of yarn, I'm going to take this dye in this jar, I'm going to add it to the crock pot, and I'm going to over dye that blue with this just to see if I can deepen the color a little bit more on that blue. It's not going to change it a lot because there's not a whole lot of color in that, but it'll give us a little bit of variation and give us a little bit of difference with the blue stripe in our rainbow. So I am just going to, I don't have the heat on this yet in the crock pot. And you can see there's like very little color, so it's barely going to affect anything. But I figured, hey, it might deepen the color just a little bit. So I'm going to let this go on high for a while. And yes, I'm just going to stand here and hold it, but I'm not going to make you sit here and watch the whole time. And then once this is done, I'll scoop out a little of the excess water in the crock pot, and I will wrap up our rainbow in my shower curtain plastic and steam and set this yarn. So are you ready to see our finished yarn? Check this out! How amazing is this? Oh my god, I love this. This is so much like a rainbow in the sky. I mean, this is just gorgeous. I love it. I do have some breaking on the purple because that's what Wilton's Violet likes to do. But I'm okay with that. I'll keep working on it to see if I can get to where it doesn't break. And I love the kind of mottled look on the blue for the sky. I thought about going back and re-dyeing it again to get more of an even tonal, but you know, more of a solid color. But in the end I decided no, I'm gonna leave that because it's kind of like clouds in the sky. And take a look at our swatch. Seriously, how much does that look like clouds in the sky and the rainbow in the sky? You know, after a storm, when the rain's done and the clouds break open, you just have those few little last wisps of cloud, and then a rainbow comes through. I love this. I love these little peekaboo stripes. On a larger knit project, something bigger than this swatch, those stripes wouldn't even really gather like this. They'd be much less frequent. I'm going to find out too, because I am definitely, as I said, I am going to use this yarn to knit myself a cushion for my chair here in my office, something that's bright and cheerful to cheer me up when I'm having a rough day. So anyway, that is our bonus skein of yarn from Dyeing Rainbows as part of the Kim Knits Tutorials June 2020 dye along. I hope you had as much fun with it as I did with the skein, and I will see you guys on our next adventure. Take care, everybody. Bye.